Anyone can sell electronics. At Electronics Expo, they do more than sell products. They design, install, and support complete technology solutions. From home theaters and whole home audio to lighting, shades, automation, networking, security cameras, and premium entertainment systems. For over 22 years, they've helped thousands of homeowners experience technology at its very best. See the difference for yourself. Visit their Wayne or Paramus stores in New Jersey or shop now at electronicsexpo.com.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the matchday spread. He's reaching for the buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noam
on 77 WABC.
Oh yeah, that's me. Good morning. It is Friday, July 10th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Cloudy day on the way. Could see a stray shower. Going to be humid again. High 87, but the weekend, oh yeah, it's going to be great. Saturday, sun and clouds, high 84. Sunday, sunshine, high 85. Got to love that. If you are walking out the door with us right now, 72 and partly cloudy in Valley Cottage up in Rockland. It's 72 and partly cloudy in Ringwood over in New Jersey. And it's 73 and clear right outside our Midtown studios.
This is the Top 5 at 5.
Another day of flash floods in New Jersey. The construction worker who sounded the alarm on that buckling building speaks out. Neighbors know a Bronx rapist, but they just can't find him. Senator Menendez's wife heads to prison. And we'll tell you how a New Yorker cashes in on Taylor Swift's wedding. All right, let's get into it at 5:04. Oh, my God, it was bad in New Jersey. Now, here, we didn't really see a whole lot of rain yesterday, just cloudy days. Looked like it was going to rain. But there was these showers in New Jersey, parts of New Jersey, central Jersey, down the Jersey Shore. Intense flash flooding. There were parts of Route 1 that were just underwater. Lots of cars got stuck. Problems in New Brunswick, Matawan, Edison, some of the hardest hit towns. Here were some of the drivers out.
This is crazy. I've been sitting in this parking lot for about 2 hours. I pulled over because you really couldn't see.
I don't want to drive over the debris, so I'm going to wait for my husband to come get me. I heard that a bunch of the roads closed over there and some cars got swept away.
Yeah, we are hearing from police all over New Jersey. In Keyport, multiple road closures due to the flash flooding.
My street was flooded. That subsided. It took like maybe 30 minutes. Cars were coming through there, plowing through it. Like it was submerging over their hood. It was eventually somebody was going to come through and was going to get stuck.
It was one of these things where it started to rain, and then all of a sudden you're like, where else is this water coming from? New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill releasing a statement yesterday warning drivers in central Jersey, down the Jersey Shore, don't go through flooded streets. But sometimes it's hard to tell you're on a flooded street until you're already submerged.
My street was flooded. That subsided. It took like maybe 30 minutes. Cars were coming through there, plowing through it. Like it was submerging over their hood. It was eventually somebody was going to come through and was going to get stuck.
Yeah, so major flooding closed 3 lanes of Route 1 southbound, south of Plainfield. That's a major roadway if you're not familiar with it. Most of those waters have submerged, no doubt. Joe will have a check on that coming up in just a moment. And then while we're in New Jersey, there was this intense lightning strike during those severe thunderstorms yesterday. Neighbors in Old Bridge say they heard the biggest pop they've ever heard. It was a lightning blasting through the attic of a neighbor's home. This was on Cheesequake Road yesterday afternoon. Here's how they described it.
I heard this thing, and it was incredibly close and as loud as it could be. I mean, it was as brutally loud as it could possibly be to your ears.
When I came outside, the smoke was coming out of the roof already.
Yeah, the home is one of 6 townhouses in this town in Old Bridge that are attached to each other. So you can understand why the neighbors would be concerned when they heard that. It caught fire. Now they have a firewall between each of these homes, so it prevented the fire from spreading down the line.
Heavy black smoke. It sounded like that lightning hit. You know that crack you get when there's lightning?
Yeah.
I heard that. It wasn't thunder. It was that whack real close.
Yeah, you've heard that before. It is, it just shakes the house. That's what happened here.
The biggest challenge was we had very heavy rain at the time. The conditions were poor for us to deal with. It's real lucky. I mean, they were home, thankfully. They got their pets out. I think that they lost a couple parakeets, but they got their 4 dogs out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most of their home was destroyed by lightning strike. But you get that this time of year, especially when you got the hot, humid summer weather. WABC News Time 519. Let's head out to Utah, where they're continuing that evidence trial for the accused killer of Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson. And yesterday, the former roommate and romantic partner of Tyler Robinson, we got to see tape of him. He said, talked about the conversation he had with Tyler after Charlie Kirk's assassination.
He started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it.
Now, in a video police interview with Lance Twiggs, it was played in Utah court yesterday, Twiggs says Robinson came back to their apartment after the shooting and told him he talked to his parents or turn himself in.
It definitely, especially the last 2, definitely do look like him.
Now, Twiggs said he never really personally heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before the shooting.
Usually, if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump.
Yeah, and Brian Davis, who's of the Utah State Bureau of Investigation, describes an alleged text exchange between Tyler Robinson and Twiggs after Kirk's murder.
And Lance replies, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" And Tyler says, "I am. I'm sorry."
Now, this interview is part of the prosecution's case against Tyler Robinson that's being laid out during this week-long evidentiary hearing. At the hearing's end, which I think is going to be today, the judge will decide if there's enough evidence against Robinson to proceed to trial. 5'10" U.S. Olympian David Hearn entering a not guilty plea yesterday in connection with that alleged damage to the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Now, one of his attorneys is Norman Eisen. He spoke out after this hearing yesterday.
This is a case that should never have been brought. Davy Hearn is innocent, and we are going to fight this case and entrust the justice system to do the right thing.
Now, the Olympic canoeist is accused of causing more than $1,000 damage to the pool, was indicted on a single count of destruction of property.
We have confidence in our justice system to see through this misuse of government power against an ordinary American based on a false and politicized narrative. Today, Davy Hearn pled not guilty. Because he is not guilty. This indictment reflects the administration's effort to scapegoat Davy and to shift blame for their own failures.
Now, Hearn's next hearing will be on August 5th. 5:11, let's go overseas. The guns falling silent in the Middle East after 2 days of deadly strikes between the U.S. and Iran as mediating nations attempt to get diplomacy back on track. Now, President Trump has expressed some frustration about these continuing talks with the regime over the last couple days.
They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal.
Now, President Trump was asked if a full-scale war with Iran was a possibility, and he doesn't really say 100% that it is.
Would win it very quickly. They have very little left.
Now, a U.S. official says Washington remains committed to negotiations with Tehran, and technical talks apparently continue. That we're not hearing a whole lot about that. Now, Palestinians in Gaza today turning out in large numbers to pay their respects to an aid worker who set up World Cup screenings and was killed in an Israeli airstrike there. Meanwhile, Israel says it recently provided U.S. officials with intelligence that pointed to a new alleged Iranian plot to assassinate President Trump.
The report from the Wall Street Journal, based on sources familiar with the matter, said Israeli officials viewed the threat as credible and warned Washington following already heightened U.S.-Iran tensions during the ongoing war. CNN also reported that two sources confirmed the warning, with one saying it was delivered earlier this week. However, other U.S. officials told CNN they believe the intelligence might have been intended to shape Trump's decision-making as he considers whether to expand U.S. military action against Iran. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, so what does this mean for oil prices that have gone down? Shipping in the Strait of Hormuz has plunged during the renewed fighting, dealing a blow to energy markets that are already, just reeling from the biggest supply disruption in history. And those rising tensions in the Middle East are putting a spotlight back on the domestic oil industry. Energy companies here are restarting their rigs to increase production again.
The rig count is up. We're up about 8%, and Texas is certainly seeing its share of that.
Yeah, that's Todd Staple, who heads the Texas Oil and Gas Association. He says the state is now producing about half of the nation's supply.
We've got the best people in the world right here in Texas that have those capabilities. The difficult part is it's not a simple process. When oil and gas is doing well, it seems like it benefits everyone.
Yeah, and in Brownsville, Texas, they've begun work on the first new American oil refinery there in 50 years. 5:14, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, fellow Republican Congressman Carlos Jimenez, teaming up now to warn about potential dangers from Cuba. It's been a mess there. Both discussing stories that Cuba reportedly bought over 300 military drones from Iran and is considering using them to carry out attacks at Guantanamo Bay and even in Key West.
This has a range of about 2,500 kilometers, which can reach from Cuba. It can reach all the way into New York.
Now, Jimenez says the Cuban dictatorship is a real threat, with drones just, of course, 90 miles away from U.S. shores.
And if Cuba, in fact, has 300 of these, it's a threat to the United States.
Former Florida Governor George Bush weighs in as well.
This is a new threat to the world. We're seeing it play out in the Middle East, in Russia. There are reports around 300 drones, Iranian drones. Shahed drone being the dominant one in Cuba.
I called him George. Of course, his name is Jeb.
The relationship between Iran and Cuba is real.
Yeah, so Congressman Jimenez says this poses a potential deadly menace to our society, and he's calling on the White House to investigate and watch what's happening in Cuba right now. In a moment, we'll hear from another one of those urban search and rescue teams that has been in Venezuela and what they've seen. We'll do that in just a moment. First 5:15, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk. Happy Friday. Good morning, Justin Elliott.
No, that sounds good, doesn't it? No,
it really does.
Happy Friday to you indeed, sir. We'll start here in Tampa Bay. Ben Rice hit 2 homers and drove in 5 runs. Austin Wells also went deep, and the Yankees beat the Rays 12-4 to split a 4-game series between the AL's top 2 teams, sitting now 4 games back of Tampa for first place in the division. Rice will compete in the Home Run Derby in Philadelphia on Monday night. He looks primed and ready to go in that one. He hit 3 home runs in this 4-game set. The injury-riddled Yankees improved to 15-19 without 3-time AL MVP Aaron Judge, who will have his injured right rib re-imaged next week. The Yankees won for just the 3rd time in 14 games. They've lost 7 games in the standings in that span as the Rays have gone 10-4. Tampa Bay's pitchers had 45 strikeouts and only 2 walks in the first 3 games of the series before New York's slumping hitters broke out with 14 hits and 12 runs yesterday. Up next
Does Aaron Judge show up? Like you have a hurt basketball player, right? A lot of times they'll sit on the bench, right? Like in a suit or whatever. Does Aaron Judge show up to Yankee games? Do we know? Is he sitting in the dugout with him?
When he doesn't.
You've seen them there?
Yeah. Especially because he still can't do anything. He has to get re-imaged next week. So he's got nothing to do but sit around. So until he goes down to Tampa for his rehab assignment at George M. Steinbrenner Field, and then he'll play a couple of minor league games probably down in AAA, and then he'll come back up.
So he's not home watching Netflix or Golden Girls episodes or something?
No, he's got nothing to do right now. He can't even move.
Wow.
The guy's like immobile until he gets re-imaged, and then he gets reassessed by a doctor, and then the doctor gives him clearance to go, and now you can go start your rehab assignment, which will then take another 2 to 3 weeks probably.
So we're talking now like mid-August he comes back? If he comes back?
Yeah, what is it?
Because we're already almost, today's the 10th.
Okay.
They're saying
Middle
not
of
another
July,
week
if he
until
gets,
that.
Yeah, he gets re-imaged next week, and then you say, if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, say he's back 3 weeks from then, I would say is
that's
a fair
August.
assessment. Yeah, that's August.
Wow.
So a lot of time without Aaron Judge. I mean, we said it when he originally came down with this injury. You don't come right back from a fractured right rib, especially when you're Aaron Judge swinging a baseball bat as hard as he does. So, sometime in August seems to be about right. Up next,
wasn't
the idea.
Jalen Brunson playing with essentially a broken wrist through the NBA championship?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty vital to a basketball. He still played.
I would say so.
You can't play through
Mitchell
a broken
Robinson, is that who you're thinking of?
Oh, it was Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, it wasn't Jalen Brunson.
Oh, it wasn't Jalen Brunson.
No, you are thinking of Mitchell Robinson.
He had a brace on and stuff, too.
Yeah.
No. Didn't Jalen Brunson just get surgery on his wrist? Right when the. Oh. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think I'm wrong about that.
I'm still thinking of Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Mitchell Robinson too.
All right, maybe I'm wrong.
See, if you can't even remember correctly, was it even that big of a deal?
I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Out in Queens, Tyrone Taylor, who entered with Mark Vientos, suffered a fractured right hand. Speaking of fractured hands, after being hit by a pitch, hit the game-tying homer to start a 5-run fifth inning, powering the Mets to 7-3 win over the Royals to win the series and taking 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. Up next for the Mets, Nolan McLean will get the start in tonight's opener of a 3-game weekend series back at home against the visiting Boston Red Sox. First pitch from Citi Field is scheduled for 7:15. And yesterday, quarterfinals, World Cup, full-time from New England. Yesterday afternoon was France over Morocco 2-0. Kylian Mbappe had a goal and an assist after missing that first half penalty kick. Gives him 20 World Cup goals over his illustrious career, moving him one behind Argentina captain Lionel Messi. Messi does hold the record with 21 goals in 31 career World Cup matches over 6 tournaments.
Noam is correct, by the way.
Oh, he is.
Can you say that again?
Jalen Brunson. Okay, we'll isolate it. Noam is correct.
Ooh, that's right. That's good.
Yes, he played wrist forearm injury during the playoff.
He had a tendon
Was it
issue.
broken, though? Was it a broken
No, but he had a
hand?
tendon ripped or something. I mean, it was a pretty serious injury. He had to get surgery.
Surgery, yes.
Yeah. All right.
Tendon hand issue, yes.
Oh.
That's what it was.
So when they make the NBA Finals next year, we'll break his rib and we'll see. we'll see if he can
have Aaron Judge on the
play
side.
through. Right. Yeah.
And if he does, we'll call Aaron Judge a wuss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you can. I'm not. I won't do that. But yeah, sure. If you want to call Aaron Judge a wussy, that's fine by you. 3 p.m. today in Los Angeles, Spain and Belgium in the quarterfinals, and then tomorrow you get Norway and England. 5 p.m. in Miami, and tomorrow night at 9 p.m. in Kansas City, it's Argentina and Switzerland. That is your Sports Noam. I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
Thank you very much, Justin. Traffic, transit now. Here's Joe Nolan.
He's right. They're probably going to send him down to Tampa, right? But how about if he plays a couple of games in Somerset? How great would that
would be cool. Can you imagine?
Oh, my God.
He would hit that thing out of the ballpark.
Yeah, he'd put it on 287. I mean, it would be absolutely, oh, my gosh. If he ends up at Somerset Patriots for a game, he'd
that would
find
be awesome.
me there. Absolutely. That'd be great.
WABC News Time 522. Another urban search and rescue team is back from more than a week of digging through rubble to save lives in earthquake-ravaged Venezuela, where the death toll continues to rise. More than 3,000, more than 17,000 injured, tens of thousands homeless. 2 members of that team, they were honored down in Miami yesterday.
I could not be more proud to be a City of Miami resident than I am today.
Pretty big guys came up to me, both of whom cried in my arms to thank me for what the City of Miami did for the people of Venezuela by sending you there.
I can only imagine what they saw in Venezuela. They did make some rescues down there, so congratulations to that team. 523, the U.S. housing market, it remains sluggish as existing home sales recorded an unexpected drop in June. Gina Martin-Adams is the chief market strategist at HB Wealth.
This is a level that we saw back in the financial crisis. And frankly, we just haven't seen it really change in the last several years as homeowners continue to contend with elevated prices, which create difficult conditions for affordability, as well as elevated mortgage rates and limited inventory.
Now, the good part of that is it becomes a buyer's market. So if you're looking for a house, it's a good time to buy one.
There are about 4.6 months worth of supply of inventory at the current pace of demand. Most housing experts would suggest that you want to have somewhere closer to 5 to 6 months of supply on the market to support a healthy housing market. But there's just a limited amount of inventory as homeowners are sitting on their existing homes in the marketplace for much longer.
Now, high mortgage rates also is a problem. Coupled with the record high prices are causing home buyers apparently to pull back. Sales of previously owned homes in June, they dropped 2.4% from May. Housing analysts were predicting a slight gain over month over month. 524, the state of Texas launching an investigation into a hospital near the border with Mexico after allegations the medical center was offering citizenship packages. The hospital advertised in Mexico the ability for patients to come give birth in Texas with different prices offered for a natural birth and a C-section. I'm not making this up. It's crazy. President Trump addressed the situation in a Truth Social post saying he will ask the Supreme Court for an expedited hearing on things like this.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is ordering an investigation into a hospital near the Texas-Mexico border over concerns it was selling a path to American citizenship through child birth packages. So the hospital was advertising the packages in Mexico, but insists it did nothing illegal. The billboard made it look almost as simple as booking a hotel room. Come to South Texas, have your baby.
Now, Governor Abbott says he's going and doing a deep investigation on what's exactly taking place at this hospital. 525, everybody wants to weigh in on Graham Plattner. Of course, he's the Maine Democrat who won the primary there for senator and now dropped out of the race amid these sexual assault allegations. Everybody seems to be on the right side now. You have Governor Gavin Newsom. He's the latest. He says that he can't wait to see who Democrats nominate now to take Graham Plattner's place.
Turn the page and move on. I can't get into the merits of what they do in Maine in terms of that vetting process, et cetera. I just don't know enough to have an informed opinion. Clearly, there wasn't enough vetting done.
Of course, all these people were Plattner fans not more than a week ago. Earlier this week, a report surfaced claiming the Maine Democrat sexually assaulted an ex-girlfriend while he was under the influence of alcohol. This is only 5 years ago. Now, I will point out, Plattner denies that claim.
Every second we're talking about the past is a second wasted in terms of the essential nature of that race.
Monday would be the last day that Plattner can officially drop out, so Democrats can then move and select a nominee. Apparently, they have until the 27th of July to put somebody else on the ballot. 526, yesterday, today, some of the busiest travel days of the summer season at U.S. airports. Now, some of this is people coming back from the July 4th holiday. Others, it's waiting for the airfares to go down from the July 4th weekend. Correspondent Maggie Vespa has more on what and how FAA officials are trying to make sure things run smoothly.
We have more than 56,000 flights taking off coast to coast today. On the peak day for the July 4th travel surge, we only had roughly 52,000 plus. Same story for this past Thanksgiving. The peak day was the Tuesday prior back in 2025, also around 52,000 flights.
And some of this, by the way, is World Cup travel. That's been a real boon to so many cities, including New York.
We're kind of on the extreme tail end of people still returning from their July 4th travel. That's number one. Number two, they say there's also just the unwavering enthusiasm for family vacations this summer, which tend to kind of pick up around weekends as well. So you have those two factors combined today.
Yeah, so something to think about if you're heading out to the airport. You definitely want to budget yourself some extra time.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noam.
On 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Friday, July 10th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Cloudy day on the way. Could see a stray pop-up shower thunderstorm this afternoon. It's going to be humid as well, the high 87. But then we get to the weekend, and it's just going to be downright beautiful. Saturday, sun and clouds, high 84. Sunday, sunshine, high 85. If you're walking out the door with us right now, so happy you are, 72, partly cloudy in Valley Cottage up in Rockland. It's 71 and partly cloudy in Ringwood over in New Jersey. And it's 73 and cloudy right outside our Midtown studio. WABC News Time 541. Construction crews continue to work today to stabilize that Midtown high-rise where the support columns buckled earlier this week, sparking fears of a collapse. Sean Dow, he was supposed to be working on the building's fire sprinkler system this week when instead he encountered what he described as a collapsing column and the frantic effort to get everyone out of the building. He told his story to Eyewitness News.
I went up to the 22nd floor. We gathered material for what we needed, and I started walking, and while I was checking out what I was going to do for the day, I noticed some cracks on the floor. I walked down to the 21st floor, where I met the GCs, and everyone huddled up. We found the beam. We took pictures. I sent it to my foreman. From there, we decided it was time to evacuate the building.
Yeah, and that's when he says they sounded the alarm. Get out of the building. Those steel beams they described were bending like you would crack a cigarette in half.
I ran down the stairs, told them it was time to get off the site. Building could possibly be collapsing. At first, it was nerve-wracking. You don't know how long you have.
Now, the good part, of course, is nobody was hurt. Now they're trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do next. But he says he was glad he was there to sound the alarm.
It's a horrible thing to happen. If anything, we're lucky it happened now before 3 years down the line when there's thousands of people living in the building.
He's totally right about that. The city now investigating the developer Metro Loft and Domani Inspection Services, the privately held and hired building inspector, how they weren't able to catch this, but just a construction worker was able to do that. And New Yorkers, of course, and who can blame them, questioning now the safety of other buildings across the city. The initial shock wears off. New Yorkers say, what's up with other buildings? Should we be worried about that if, this one was going to continue to construction? Nobody seemed to notice until this guy did.
I think New York needs to check the foundation of every building before they start doing construction like that.
What's happening with inspections? Are the buildings not getting inspected?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with that? What was the protocol for that building? Like, why was it not checked? Why just from one day to another now it's like it's going to be collapsed,
Yeah, lots of great questions. It was the former Pfizer World Headquarters at 235 42nd Street. It's being turned into an apartment building, and so that's why there's so many questions now.
There's a lot of people in New York City, and these buildings probably hold more than 1,000 people a day. Like, there's people in and out of these buildings. You don't know what these people are doing in these buildings. Anything could happen, so I think the inspections should be more common.
And now we have to wait to see what engineers are going to do. They're still trying to figure out a long-term repair plan for this condo conversion. 543, nice moment downtown. Construction now starting on what is the last commercial high-rise building at the new rebuilt World Trade Center site. It comes, of course, nearly 25 years after the 9/11 attacks. The Port Authority's Catherine Garcia was at the groundbreaking ceremony yesterday for 2 World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan.
2 World Trade Center is not just a tower. It is a proof point about Lower Manhattan and New York City that it is thriving and growing.
American Express is going to make the 55-story building on Greenwich Street its global headquarters when it opens in 2031.
We have a covenant with those individuals who died 25 years ago and those who have died since. And we have made a commitment to them that we will restore this campus. It'll be vibrant.
Yeah, there will be 10,000 workers inside that building when it finally does open in 2031. The City Council's Italian caucus demanding Mayor Mamdani amend his new immigrant enclaves map, which, for some reason, ignored Little Italy and other Italian-American areas of the 5 boroughs. The caucus fuming yesterday over Mamdani's map, which did not list Italian enclaves or big Irish and Jewish neighborhoods, but did spotlight 30 other areas, including Little Palestine, Koreatown, Little Pakistan, and Little Odessa. The caucus says the Mamdani administration should work with historians and community groups so the next version of this map gives Italian Americans a fair shake. Now, we're not hearing anything from City Hall, but the Italian caucus is really angry, and we'll hear from members of that caucus and other upset Italians coming up 6 o'clock on Sid and Friends in the morning. In a moment, we will head over to the Upper East Side where, there's more cases of Legionnaires, and now we're getting some idea of where this is coming from. We'll do that in just a moment. But first, 5:45, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk, and here's Justin Ellick.
Do you know where Little Palestine is?
I do not.
Oh, really?
Do you know where Little Palestine is?
No, I would imagine you try to point to it on a map, but it doesn't exist, just like the real Palestine. My God.
So you hit that out of the park.
Oh, look at that. So did the Yankees last night. Noah Maladen.
Oh, look at that. Wow, you're really good.
They played out in Little Palestine. Oh, wait, no, they played out in the Bronx. Wait, never mind. No, they didn't. They played down in Tampa Bay. Over 3. My God.
You were doing so well.
I really was.
All those ribs do.
One's broken. Sports sponsored by Pete Morgan of Peerless Spoilers. Go to peerlessspoilers.com to find a dealer near you. Peerless Spoilers, the world's best built of boilers. We'll start down in Tampa Bay. Ben Rice had 2 homers and drove in 5 runs. Austin Wells also went deep, and the Yankees beat the Rays 12-4 to split a 4-game series between the AL's top 2 teams, sitting now 4 games back at Tampa for first place in the division. Rice will compete in the Home Run Derby in Philadelphia come Monday night. The injury-riddled Yankees improved to 15-19 without 3-time AL MVP Aaron Judge and that broken rib. He will have it re-imaged next week. Yankees won for just the 3rd time in 14 games. They've lost 7 games in the standings in that span as the Rays have gone 10-4. Tampa Bay's pitchers had 45 strikeouts and only 2 walks in the first 3 games of the series before New York's slumping hitters broke out with those 14 hits and 12 runs last night. Up next for the Yankees, the lefty Ryan Weathers will start at Washington tonight in the opener of a 3-game weekend set against the Nationals. First pitch from D.C. is scheduled for 6:45 p.m. Out in Queens, Tyrone Taylor, who entered when Mark Vientos suffered a fractured right hand after being hit by a pitch, hit the game-tying homer to start a 5-run 5th inning, powering the Mets to a 7-3 win over the Royals to win the series and taking 2 of 3 from Kansas City. They've only won a series for the 3rd time since June 1st. Juan Soto homered in the 7th. Up next for the Mets, Nolan McLean will get the start in tonight's opener of a 3-game weekend series back at home against the visiting Boston Red Sox. First pitch from Citi Field is scheduled for 7:15. Check in on the World Cup and quarterfinals as well. Full-time from New England yesterday. France beating Morocco 2-0. Kylian Mbappe had a goal and an assist. Gets his 20th World Cup career goal, moving him 1 behind Argentina captain Lionel Messi.
Nobody's beating this French team, are they? They look so good yesterday.
They did look really, really good. And that other guy who scored the other goal, what was it, Dembele? He's great, too.
He is. I don't know who beats them.
Me neither.
I think they're going to win.
Yeah, so they'll face either Spain or Belgium. You'll see that quarterfinal this afternoon in Los Angeles at 3 p.m. And then tomorrow at 5 in Miami, you get Norway and England. And tomorrow night at 9 p.m., you get Argentina and Switzerland. That is your sports, sponsored by Pete Morgan of Peerless Spoilers. Go to peerlessspoilers.com to find a dealer near you. Peerless Spoilers, the world's best built boilers. I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 5:49. New York City health officials say testing has uncovered dozens of buildings on the Upper East Side with traces of the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease. They say some of them are likely the cause of this current outbreak, which has led to at least 46 cases, 22 hospitalizations so far. The city says the Department of Health officials will release a list of addresses of other locations in the coming days.
I had no idea about this building. I guess they should have put up a sign or something, kind of warning. People are aware of what's going on.
I take the train every day, and so, of course, those things are in my mind, but I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, so people are really frightened on the Upper East Side. Now, I will point out that if you do come down with Legionnaires and you catch it right away, antibiotics work. People who are already sick tend to get sicker. Those are the ones who really need to watch out. Testing began July 2nd after officials identified an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in 3 zip codes on the Upper East Side. An initial PCR test at a commercial building at the corner of East 85th came back positive for Legionella bacteria. That's one of them. So I think there's a gap in the bottom floor, if I'm not mistaken. Health Department ordered the building to immediately remediate, drain, clean, and disinfect the cooling tower. Now, earlier this week, you had the City Council Speaker, Julie Menon, saying, why are we testing? Let's just clean all of these towers, which made sense to me. But anyway, some of these groups, these buildings will do these mandatory cleanings as New Yorkers, again, worried. They'll come down. They'll be the next to get sick.
There's not enough information going around. Yeah. So we're hoping to get more information and clarity. If it starts spreading rapidly, you're going to curtail your normal activities, maybe walk down Lexington instead of 3rd.
What are we waiting for? We're going to wait for more people to get sick and potentially die?
Yeah, so the bacteria spread by mist from cooling towers and by water droplets outside. You'll remember last summer, it was in East Harlem. There was a Legionnaires outbreak there. During that outbreak, 7 died. More than 100 got sick with Legionnaires disease. Up to the Bronx, where neighbors in Eastchester on edge after police identified a man who's wanted in connection with the rape of 2 women on the same block 6 months apart. It's 42-year-old Anthony Robinson who's wanted for allegedly attacking 2 women on Boulder Avenue in separate incidents. So they've put pictures of him up all over the neighborhood. And people say, I know this guy, and I can't believe he's behind these attacks. And they say, I'm going to help look for him. He's accused of raping a 30-year-old woman and raping a 22-year-old woman.
I had no idea that he was this kind of person. It's very concerning and very alarming to actually know he lives this close to us.
Yeah, of course. The flyer lists Robinson's last known address in the same neighborhood where police say both attacks occurred. Here's a neighbor who spoke to News 12. He lives across the street from Robinson, and he said, yeah, I'm watching his front door to see if he comes home.
He should be prosecuted to the full extent of it, because I don't think anybody should be abusing anyone, period, worse woman.
Yeah, police urging anyone who sees Robinson, of course, to call them immediately. 5:53. Did you see this footage? That was released of a rescue that the NYPD did on the Brooklyn Bridge of a woman who was threatening to jump off the bridge. Boy, an amazing job done by them. We have, I guess, some of the body cam footage. Police were responding to reports of a woman on the beam of the bridge over the East River about 8:30 at night.
You okay? I just want to talk. What's happening today? I want to help you. That's why I'm up here right now. I genuinely care. I do. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. It really is.
And then they were able to convince her to get off that beam. Thank God. Good job. Great job done by the NYPD. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch posting the video on social media and said the officer spoke with the woman for nearly an hour before safely pulling her from the edge. She was taken to a local hospital for observation. I should point out, if you or someone you know struggling, you can dial the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988 or go to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. 5:54. We now know a little bit more about this 36-year-old man who's under arrest after they caught him on camera throwing Molotov cocktails at 2 different religious buildings in Queens yesterday morning. His name is Yogesh Sarange. Now, we don't know really what's behind this, but he threw a device at the front door of the Iglesias El Mesias Church on 75th Street in Ozone Park. This was about midnight on Thursday morning. There were a lot of people out, so they saw him throw this Molotov cocktail.
We heard like a little bang. I go outside. The floor was on fire. Maybe a couple minutes later, I looked down the block. When I looked down the block, that place was on fire, and the police was all over. They didn't hit no door over here. They hit the ground on the base. There wasn't no damage over here.
Yeah, so the good news is fire started both places, but there was no damage. Both places, the Molotov cocktail bounced off the front door. The second place was not too far away from the first. It was on 78th Street in Woodhaven. It was the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. Same thing. He threw a Molotov cocktail out the front door. It bounced off the door, exploded on the ground, didn't do any damage to the building. Here was an eyewitness to that one.
My brother is the mechanic here from the shop. The first impression that he saw was like a bottle with something, but he didn't think that it's something like a bomb or something like that.
Yeah, of course. A third incident was discovered on Rockaway Boulevard and Cypress Hills. Same thing, no damage to that building. It didn't take long for police to find this dope, and they don't really know what the motive is. I mean, it could just be hatred of religion. Sarange was already being sought by federal investigators for a firebombing in Brooklyn last month, but wasn't taken into custody. Thank God they found him on Thursday after those 2 attacks. And we'll end the story end this hour up by Madison Square Garden. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, of course, married, it was a week ago today, right? And there was one artist who came up with this. You're gonna say to yourself, why didn't I come up with this idea? Because Swifties are out of their mind, and the people who love Taylor Swift. So one man, while the couple was getting married inside Madison Square Garden, this artist, his name is Justin Gignac, he decided that he could take the trash from around Madison Square Garden and then do something and maybe sell it on like eBay or Amazon or something like that. So he started picking up trash around Madison Square Garden as the couple was getting married.
I went around the perimeter. I found a ring pop. I found that left AirPod. And I also found an ovulation test kit.
Now, by the way, we don't even know if any of this is connected to her wedding, but he divided his collection of trash into large and small transparent plastic cubes. They were fun to look at. And then he started selling them online, and they went right away. I mean, they all sold out.
I made 50, and I call it pocket garbage, $25 each. The bigger cubes are $100 for regular garbage.
If someone asks, is this from the wedding itself, what do you say?
I say it's from outside MSG during the wedding.
But people still bought it up. And Swifties say, look, anything connected even remotely to Taylor Swift is gold.
I think with Swifties, anything for Taylor Swift, people will like drop like a limb for it. I see people buying just like a box just to have it.
That's definitely New York vibes, definitely hustling.
Do we know? Are people actually purchasing the things?
Yes.
Well, I mean, hey, honestly, then take advantage of it.
Yeah, nice job done by Justin, who made some serious cash by just collecting garbage outside of the garden and claiming maybe it was connected to Taylor Swift.
I had an idea and I made it happen. I think that's the thing. I like finding beauty and joy and delight in the things that are overlooked and discarded.
Yeah, I wish I had thought of that.
Thanks for listening to the News Hour with Noam Laden. You can hear the News Hour with Noam Laden weekday mornings at 5 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?